Welcome back. I want to thank everybody for coming back and checking out. We are on to turn 5, and we are at the beginning of the turn. So now it is time for us to roll to see if the Germans get their reinforcements or not. So we need to roll one dice, and it has to be less than the turn number. And we got an 8. So they are not coming on this turn. So this should be relatively a short turn, so I'll probably be able to take care of that. Real quick, it is currently July the 13th, 2022. We currently have a offer or a contest going on for an ATS game, complete game. So I'll put the instructions in the notes on this, and so that way you can do it. You have until July 31st. So if this interests you, many people are watching. So if ATS kind of interests you, this is a good way for them to get into the game and things like that. So let's go ahead and get started. We need to roll to see who goes first. 2 zeros. Try again. 3 and a 5, so the Americans get to go first. Well, that's a pretty easy thing for them to do. What we're going to do is we are going to take Sergeant Quinn here and all his units, the LMG and the half squad. So we have 5, 10, 17, 25. So this will be rolling on the 24 table. I'm going to take that. Yep. Rolling on the 24 table, we will be a +1 because it will be a +1 because of the leader or the hedgerow right here, but a -1 because of the NCO, which means that it's a straight shot on the 24. And then we will get to see how things go. Okay, straight shot on the 24. We got clear dice, straight shot on 24 is a 7. On the 24 is a C2. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and flip this squad here. Since that was a 24, I have not been putting my collateral fire on here. And so 12, you take half the number 12, and then there's no 12. So a 10 will go in there, because I want to go through that right. So, okay, start with the leader first. 6 - 2 + 1. So 5 or less, and gets an 8. Okay, so he's broken. And so this is be a 3 + 1, 4 or less, 7. So he is also broken. And then finally, this squad here is a 5 or less. And he gets a 1. So he will be okay. There, so he is not broken. But we do have a 10 residual in there. And that basically takes care of a lot of the craziness that we've got going on here. Okay. So he has fired. It is now the Germans' activation. I'm going to change this. Doesn't show. I'm going to go back to my nice one because I think it shows up much better that way. Okay, so now it's the German's turn. So basically, in this case, he's going to fire back, but he's only going to have a squad and this LMG, which is a 5. So he's going to be firing on the 10. So 10, he's firing on the 10, plus 1. So 10 plus 1, here we go. It is going to be a 6, plus 1 is a 7. A 7 on the 10 is a C1. And so what we're going to do, we're going to take that C1 on this guy right here. Need to get another casualty marker here. Okay, leader first. So it's a 7 minus 1, which is a 6, 7, 8. So we got a 7, so the leader's fine. These two basically just don't roll a 10, 2, 5, good. Okay, now let's take a look at, we got to take a look at this one. So it's a minus 1, so that's a 6. So then it's a 5, 6, 7, and an 8. So just don't roll a 9 or a 10. Rolled a 7, so that he is okay. So now we can put this back on. These are good. He'll be marked fired, and so will this guy be marked fired. Now, since it's not actually, he's got a 3, so let's go ahead. He's going to fire again. He's going to fire rate, which will be on the 4. Same target. 4 plus 1 is a 9. Nope, he's got rate again. 4 plus 1. 4 plus 1 is a 5. A 5 on a 4 is a C1. So that was actually quite effective. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull these out again. That half squad's going to be gone. So this half squad is no longer. The bazooka will just stay there. So 6. So basically 3 rolls, just not a 10. Yeah. So we're good. All of them were good. And so that's fine. So he has used up his fire. So German activation is done. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to take that LMG that's on here. That's here. He is going to go ahead and fire his rate. That's also a 4. Plus 1 minus 1. So straight on the 4, we got a 5 on the 4, which is a C1. Also, so he has fired his rate as well. C1. Not worried about this one anymore. So this one will take the casualty. Leader first. 2 is fine. Still broken though. And now everybody's broken. What? Yeah, now everybody's broken. Well, that does figures. So everybody's broken. Well, they're done anyways. Okay, so they're broken, fired, and residual. Okay, well, honestly, in this case, it's back to the Americans. They're going to pass because they can't see them and they want to stay there because they don't know about reinforcements. This guy's going to pass because he's not going to see them. So in this case, everybody passes multiple times, and that's the end of the turn. Now, so we go into the end of the turn stage, or close assault. These guys can't close assault. These guys, they can't even get involved with this right now. That's kind of like the backup, anyways. Um, and the Americans are happy where they're at. No problems at all. So, what we're going to end up doing now is we are going to try to unbreak these. So they're all broken. So sergeant get wrong one 3. I'll take it. So the sergeant is unbroken, which is good. Full squad is a 7 plus 1, 8 or less, 6. So he is no longer unbroken. That's actually some good signs for that. And then 3 was a 5 minus 1. Hey, they all rallied. So Germans had a good rally segment. And that is that, because everybody, as I believe everybody else here is, yep, everybody is fine here. Yep. Okay, so, and that, by the way, that shows me that this die can roll low as well with that. Okay, so we are on to turn 6 now. And this will probably, we'll see what happens. This may be the last die roll for the game, is if the Germans can't get anybody on, then there's no use in continuing this because there's nothing that's going to bring those guys back. So let's go ahead and roll it. 5. They finally get one. They finally get the reinforcements on. It may be a little too late. So what I can do, they either enter on F22, which is down here, isn't going to help, or they can get on V17, which is right up here. V17 is right here. Now I have a choice of some squads here. Which I think we will bring the squads on. So we have 4 squads and 2 light machine guns. I really feel like these guys are the way to go. And a officer. So okay, yep, you can see him. Oh, I'm short a light machine gun. It looks like, because I'm supposed to have 2 LMGs. I'm short a light machine gun. That's okay. I'll grab one real quick here. What is it? A MG34. Let me grab one of those and I'll be right back. So here are my reinforcements. They are going to come in on here. And I think, yeah, so we're going to, yeah, so they're going to come in on here. So we have our, I think I'm going to kind of split these up with 2 full squads. Well, that gives what? So it's a 7-7 and a 5, a 7-6 and a 5. So that'd be 18. So yeah, that really doesn't. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that because that'll put it as a 14. Yep, I think that is. Sorry about hitting the camera there, guys. And then one with a leader, giving them some extra movement points, and then we'll go from there. Okay, cool. So now let's go ahead. So they come in on V17. I'm gonna put that on V18. So they're going to be coming on this turn. So maybe it's not all lost for the Germans. We finally got some squads in here. So let's go ahead, see who goes first. It will be the Germans that go first, which is what they're looking for. So what we're going to do is we are going to run. We're going to go ahead and run all the way up here. And it's usually 7, but because we have an officer here, it'll be 8 movement points. Now, right now, since we're on a new turn, these guys are going to have an opportunity to possibly fire. He's thinking to wait till he gets around here. Because, yeah, I think so. We'll see how it goes. Oh, here we go. We're going to run. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you know what? He's like, I'm just going to stop right here. And with that, these guys are actually going to go ahead and... Oh, this guy just gets flipped. I don't know why he has a casualty marker on him. Okay, so these guys are going to come from here. And they are going to be winded. So they can't run next turn, that's not a big deal. But I do want to put a winded marker on here. Just because that's what you do. Okay, winded. Now, we'll see what happens here. So we have, so that's a 7, 14. Well, that just takes it off. 7, 14, 19. Now that just drops it below. 19 plus 1, though, or minus 1 plus 1 because of that. But they are running, so it's also a minus 2. So it's on the 14 plus 2 for opportunity fire. 5 or minus 2. 5, 14 on the 14. 5 minus 2 is a 3. So 3 on the 14 is a C3. So that will be actually a 6 or collateral fire. 6 collateral fire, but we got to take 3 steps. So I think what we'll do, so we're going to flip the colonel over. That'll be 1. And then we will take casualty on each of the squads. Okay, so the leader, starts out at 7, minus 3, but plus 2, so 6 or less, and he's okay. 6 or less, and he's okay. And we got 3, so the officer's okay. So that's going to be plus 2. So basically, these other guys, well, let's take it out. So it's a C3, so that's a 4, down to a 3, 5, 6, 7. And got a 7. Same thing. That's a 10 and a 6. So we did have, so this squad right here, which was unfortunately holding the LMG, is not only casualty, it is broken as well. He's broken. Now these guys have fired here. We'll put a fired marker on them. And then this is the 6 residual right there. So now it is the Americans' turn again. And I think they're going to go ahead. Sergeant Quinn here is going to fire on these guys here. So they're not this. By the way, this bazooka here is not being carried. It was being carried by that half squad or reduced squad, however you want to call it. Whatever, doesn't bother me. So that's an 8, 15. So we're going on the 20 again. +1, -1. Yep. +1, -1. We'll mark them fired. +1, -1. So it's a straight on the 20. And it's got a 7. On the 20 is a C1. In this case, that's just going to get rid of this half squad here. C1, so that's 5, but +1. So that one's fine. I used the wrong die, but that's okay. And they're both okay. Just barely. But that did put a 10 collateral fire in here. Oh, got it right here. Put a 10 collateral fire in here. And so now it's back to the German turn. And he's going to go ahead and shoot back. Why not? Right? Why not? So that's going to be on the 10, +1, -1. On the 10, +1, -1. We will mark him fired. +1, -1. On the 10, the straight shot on the 10 is a 10, so that's nothing. He's going to go fire rate. So that'll be on the 4, straight on the 4. A 4 on the 4 is a C1. So we're just going to flip Sergeant Quinn over. He's going to take the hit. So that'll be C1. So 5. Yeah, so 7 or less. Got a 7. Whew. And then the other 2 just don't roll a 10. 7, good. And a 6, good. So no breakage. These paratroopers are extremely hard to fire. And so that was the second rate. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to fire rate on this guy. 4 again, straight on the roll. Ooh, that's a 1 on the 4. Is a C2. So we're going to have to. I think what we'll do is we're going to flip. Yeah, we're going to flip this squad right here. Okay. So C2, so that drops this 4. The 6 is down to a 4. +1, 5 or less. I got a 6. So he will be broken. The full squad, 7 or less. 3. And then the half squad, 6 or less. 8. So it is broken as well. So that was actually kind of an effective shot here. Because that took out the capability of firing rate on that machine gun. So that was really good. So now back to the Americans. They're going to pass right now. Um, yep, they're going to pass. Oh, this would be a this will be a 4 residual into that hex or collateral. So Germans, we've got the other group up here. So that's going to go. They're also going to run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's where they're going to stay. They can go 7, but I believe that's where they're going to stay. So they are also winded as well. And nobody can see them. Yep. Okay. These Americans are going to pass. They want to stay there. They really want to make sure because that's the victory hex. So they're not going to move. But let's hold on. I think this guy has an LMG. Yeah. So he has an LMG. It's going to be on the 4, up 1, -1. Up 1, -1. Up 1, -1. 9, nothing. Okay. So he has gone through. The Germans are done as well. And so we are going to go to assault movement or close assault. So residual fires will go away. Or collateral fire. I'll get the term straight. You listen to too many ASLers, you're going to start picking up their terminology too. Okay, so let's see who is going to go first. The Americans are actually going to go first. And what they're going to do is they're going to take this guy and they're going to move him into the Cabbage Patch. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this one. These guys firing on this one. I forgot to include the. Oh man, I forgot to include the orchard. Oh well. That's okay. So these guys are. Yeah, they're just gonna stay there. These guys are gonna move up a hex. Yeah, they can get up there. They can too, but they need their leader. But let's go ahead and we're going to move that squad up there. Okay, and then everybody else is going to pass. And it is rally time. So in this case, we have quite a bit of rally. So we'll just start with the Americans. It really doesn't matter if this happens simultaneous. So we have Quinn, which is a 6 + 1. So 7 or less, and he's rallied. Gets a 9. Nope. So leader does not. 8 or less, 2. Okay, so the only people that are at. Oh, wait. He can't. That's right. Because Sergeant Quinn didn't. He can't rally. That's right. Because the leader has to be in good order. That's why I kept this leader here, which Hager here is. So that'll be a +2. So basically, don't roll a 0. Roll a 1. Because underneath this guy is the LMG. So that broken goes away. Casualty does stay, though. Okay. So with that, that is actually the end of turn. Yeah, that's actually the end of turn 6. We got one more turn. Oh, it got all funky focused on that. So that's the end of the turn, and that'll be that. So with that, we'll be on to turn 7, and we'll see what happens. It's not looking good for the Germans. They do need to basically, we're going to have to close combat into this thing and they're going to have to try to eliminate these two guys, these two stacks, which is not unheard of. It's just, can they get moving here and avoid the opportunity fire and not get broken? They can take casualties, they just can't be broken. So with that, I'll talk to everybody later. Bye.